Well, that was a very, very good performance. Well, at least the first half was. I thought the first 45 minutes of that game against Southampton were really, really high quality. Although the goals we scored, you could argue, were a little bit gifted, and there were some big chances for Southampton to take the lead and ultimately change the game completely. Imagine if they scored that one-on-one when Redmond went through. I still don't know what Mustafi was thinking when he was defending that. He stepped forward, presumably trying to catch him offside, but it was just so badly done. Really amateur defending there. He could have easily scored, Redmond. He really probably should have. And then we wouldn't have gone up the other end and scored. You're looking at a completely different game if we're 1-0 down. So, you know, whilst I'm very pleased that the first half was so good, the performance was good, except from that moment, I would say. We played some great stuff, and, you know, we go in at half-time with the lead, and that's something we haven't had many times this season, as you know. I believe before today, it was just 4 games in the Premier League where we've been leading at half-time, which, when you really think about it, it's pretty mind-blowing, isn't it, for a team that's fighting for the top 4 to not be winning at half-time very often. So, quick word on Southampton, because they do find themselves in a little bit of a tough situation for the remaining games of the season. I think they probably will be okay. Probably. I think out of the other teams, they do have one of the stronger squads. They've got a few injuries. I'm sure a few players will come back and give them a bit of a boost. And they were unfortunate today in some areas. I know there's a young striker, Obafemi, I think it is, had to come off, and he looks insanely good. Really quick. Unbelievable young player they've got there. And if he can get fit again, who knows what's going to happen. I think they've got Fulham next as well at home. So if they get 3 points there, you know, it's a good start to finish strongly this season. I really hope Southampton don't go down, even though they're almost a bit of a bogey side for Arsenal. We lost 3-2 to them in, was it December or October? It was before Christmas. And, you know, I would hate to see them go down. They're one of my favourite clubs that kind of don't win anything. You know what I mean? There's something about Southampton. I love the fact that they've always relied on youth. They've always produced great players. A lot of them obviously move on to bigger and better clubs. Liverpool, for example, have got many of the Southampton players over the years. But yeah, I really like Southampton. And although, as I said, it is a bit of a bogey fixture for us, we often actually don't play so well against them. I'd really hate it for them to drop. So hopefully they do fight back and they stay safe this season. But let's talk about Arsenal. For some reason, they didn't tweet out the lineup, the picture that I normally use. But we used 2 formations today. We started off with a 4-2-3-1. No Ozil. We had Ramsey playing behind the striker today, which I thought was interesting, seeing as Ozil did so well when he came back into the team last time we were playing. 4-2-3-1 is, in my opinion, the best formation to fit Ozil into our system. Play him at the cam position behind Lacazette or Aubameyang, whoever it may be. And we've gone for Ramsey instead. And in my opinion, don't think Ramsey did too much today. He was okay, don't get me wrong, but I would have liked to seen Ozil start today at cam. We had Mkhitaryan on the right, Iwobi on the left, and Lacazette up top, so Aubameyang started on the bench. Sokratis was in defence today, and I believe, I didn't check the second half stats, but he won every single battle in the first half. Every single one. 100% of his battles, he won them all. And I'm pretty sure he won them all in the second half as well. I can't remember him not. He was incredible today. We had Mustafi, and then Lichtsteiner on the right, and then Kolasinac at left-back. And then, of course, we had Leno in goal. In the second half, though, we did have to take Lichtsteiner off. And actually, although a couple of weeks ago I'd have been praising that sub because no one thinks Lichtsteiner is good enough, he was quietly having a good game today. I thought he did mighty fine. He really did. He got a few crosses into the box that looked dangerous, and he defended astutely. He was okay. He absolutely was doing a fine job, which is always good to see. But he has come off in the second half. I don't know if it's a serious injury. It didn't look like it was too serious, but it wouldn't surprise me if we hear that he's out for a couple of weeks, which really is not good news because, of course, we're already without Bellerin. So we are going to have to play Maitland-Niles there. Mustafi took over at right back. And it felt like we almost went to... Well, I think we should have gone 3 at the back towards the end of the game because we brought Koscielny on for Lichtsteiner. But actually, now I think about it, we did stay 4-2-3-1, didn't we? Because Mustafi went on the right side. So we didn't change formation, but the system definitely changed with Mustafi on that right side because he wasn't pushing forward so much. We saw Mkhitaryan going much wider. And Mkhitaryan, by the way, he got his goal, fair play. I'm just not sure what he actually brings to this team. I feel like He's got really good work rates. I like how much he runs, and I like how creative he can be. We all know he's great at picking out passes and getting assists. But when he plays out on the right, he definitely does that less. He gets less opportunities to get on the ball, play a through ball. He actually finds himself crossing it in a lot, running into trouble a lot. And I don't know, other than the goal, I don't know what he did today. And I would have maybe liked to see maybe Iwobi out on the right and Aubameyang on the left, because when Aubameyang came on, he was meant to come on for Lacazette, but Iwobi found himself with cramp, I think it was, so they swapped him out instead. He went down that left side and instantly, huge change in our team. I'm not saying Iwobi was bad, by the way, because I would actually say he was our man of the match today. I'll talk more about him in a moment. But Aubameyang, there's just something about him when he's on the pitch. I think what it is he strikes fear into other teams. Southampton instantly took a step back and they were like, okay, Aubameyang, Lacazette, and then Ozil gets thrown in as well. It's like we need to step off here because they were already throwing men forward and giving up a lot of space in behind, which is obviously very dangerous against a side with that much pace, that much creativity. Ozil did really well as well, by the way, when he came on for Ramsey. I think, when you know that Ramsey's leaving at the end of the season, why not make an effort to play Ozil ahead of him? Maybe I'm wrong in thinking that, and maybe we need to send Aaron Ramsey off in a good way, let him play his final games for Arsenal and get loads of goals and assists. But it just feels like, we're throwing him into the lineup today when I think other players deserved it. I feel like Ozil deserved to start. But let's talk about Iwobi, because everyone knows he's been hit and miss over the last 4 or 5 years that he's been playing. And I love the guy, don't get me wrong. The start of this season, he was immense. He then went very cold for a few months. But in the last few weeks, we are seeing that Iwobi from the start of the season come back. That guy is incredible when he's on it. When it's his day. I think that's the best way to explain it. When he's on form and it's his day to shine, he is unstoppable, man. He runs down that left wing. Not exactly quick, but he just doesn't seem to get tackled. I don't really know how he does it. He just kind of uses his body weight to push people off, and he's very quick with his feet. He drags the ball back a lot, and he does a few step overs. He's really good at doing that when he's actually playing well. We've all seen the Iwobi that gets his head stuck down, runs into trouble, and then complains about how bad that was and how he's sorry and whatever. But today he was brilliant. Man of the match for me. Moments of brilliance. His interplay with Lacazette, with especially Kolasinac behind him, who obviously likes to do the overlap a lot. They have a real synergy, and I really like that. So putting Iwobi on the right probably wouldn't be as effective. I like him on the left. I'm just trying to think of a way to play the 4-2-3-1, which seems to suit us very well, with Aubameyang, with Lacazette, with Ozil, with Iwobi. It's very difficult to fit them all in. It's a headache of a problem for Emery to really get them all playing. But Iwobi was fantastic today, and it's so good to see because he has got a future at this club. He's been at the club for so long now. I want nothing more than him to succeed and become one of the greatest wingers at Arsenal Football Club. And I don't think that will happen. I don't think he's of that stature, but he's definitely a very, very good young player, and he won't be young for long. So it's about time that we really get him at his best, because before you know it, he's going to be 24, 25, 26, and then you just think to yourself, well, what happened to Iwobi? He's just another generic Arsenal winger that hasn't really hit the heights we all thought he would. So I'd love to see Iwobi continue this form, because if he does, he will be one of our best players. He already is very reliable. I really like how consistent he's been over the last few games, and long may that continue. Leno, quick word on him as well, because we don't really talk about the keeper enough, I don't think. And that's just in football in general. The keeper never gets enough praise unless they're doing these ridiculous saves where they dive and flick it over the bar when they really don't need to. Leno does the simple things really, really well. He's got another clean sheet today, which is great for us because we do not keep clean sheets, it seems. And he made a few very, very good saves today, especially that one-on-one with Redmond in the first half. Like I said at the start of this video, if that goes in, it's a different game. And that was a massive clutch save. Many opportunities throughout the game. I know Matt Target, I think it was, got a strike on goal, like a half volley, which was going right in the top corner. Brilliant save from Leno to keep us in it. He's a fantastic goalkeeper. We've needed a new keeper since, well, we had Chesney, and obviously he's turned out to be a great keeper, but he wasn't quite as good as he is now when he was playing. He was a bit immature, but I can't really think of another goalkeeper since Jens Lehmann, maybe, that I think Leno doesn't quite reach those heights. Not yet, but definitely has the potential. He's still only, what, 26, I think? So goalkeepers go on till 35, hell, even 40 if you're Buffon. So I really think Leno's going to be a great signing for us, not just because he's done well this season, but for the future as well, even though I still, to this day, can't believe that we didn't somehow keep hold of Chesney or Gnabry. It's just players that we've let slip over the years. But Leno was brilliant today. Really, really, really good. And Socrates, for me, is the second in line for man of the match. I really think he goes under the radar as well. Very solid performances from our Greek god. So, ultimately, it's a 2-0 win. Tottenham have dropped points. Manchester United have dropped points. Chelsea won't be playing in the Premier League this weekend because they've got the final against City right now, pretty much. So it was vital that we picked up the 3 points, and this was just one of those games you go into it thinking, I know what's going to happen. We're going to lose this one, aren't we, when we really can't afford to. We've got Tottenham, we've got Manchester United coming up. It's some really important fixtures on the way. We had to win today, and we did. We got the job done. So 3 points when other teams around us are dropping points. Hallelujah. All good, eh? So thank you for watching this review. I'm now going to go ahead and watch the City-Chelsea game, hoping for a City win just because they're not a London team. And obviously City are, I think, the better team to watch at the moment. So hopefully they'll pick up the win there. Either way, I don't really care. It's still going to be a good game. By the way, I just watched the United-Liverpool game. Don't even bother watching the highlights. That was absolutely terrible. But thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video soon.